Level results, sixth formers and college students receive their grades after a summer of waiting. The pass rate is 92% across the comprehensives and college, up from last year. The former head of the La Nina Fishermen's Guild reported for process for fishing without a permit in Gibraltar waters. And over £10,000 raised for the GBC Open Day through a sold-out charity darts exhibition. Very good evening. It's A-level results day. After a summer of waiting, students from Bayside and Westside, the college and Prior Park received their grades this morning. Overall, Gibraltar recorded a 92% pass rate this year, up 3 percentage points on 2025. Across government schools, there were 660 pass grades, with 12 students achieving scholar status with 3 A grades or above. Speaking to GBC, the Director of Education, Kerry Scott, said there were a lot of success stories. Prior Park reported a 100% overall pass rate, with 89% of grades at A-star to C. Katie Docker spoke to students and teachers earlier today.
I screamed, ran to the living room, and I was like, oh my God, I got in.
That was one hell of an emotion. Me and my dad were like jumping up and down.
Shocked in a good way.
I couldn't have asked for better.
When I saw your class this morning, it was 2 minutes late, but then I saw it confirmed, like, congratulations. Like, the relief was insane because I was so stressed out.
I'm feeling ecstatic because of how I got a merit on the whole overall. It was the best one I have ever done, to be honest.
I'm super relieved. I was really stressed. Like, I couldn't sleep at all last night, but as soon as I saw the results, I just felt really relieved.
Very proud of myself, to be honest. At this age in time, you know, I wouldn't have thought I would be studying, but it's never late to further your career.
Feels exciting and scary, and while it's sad to let go, it's definitely something to look forward to, and I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity to go.
I studied biology, chemistry and physics. I was very nervous, but when I saw the results I was relieved and very happy that I got into my firm choice.
And where will that be?
Cardiff, to study medicine.
I'm going to go study in Liverpool, business media with communications, and then just see where that takes me from there, whether I stay in Gib after or not. It all decides on fate and stuff like that. You know?
The future is yours.
Exactly, yeah.
Woke up this morning really happy. I looked at the offer, I didn't even care about the grades because I got accepted. So, yeah, I'm going to go study firefighting in University of Central Lancashire. So, yeah, I'm happy, I'm really happy.
Similar feelings, quite nervous in the morning, but then when it was 9 o'clock and I got the grades for my firm, I was really happy.
I was really scared because my heart was pounding, and I thought I was going to get like really low grades, maybe even fail, right? Because I was predicting some fails last year, and I managed to get a BCC and got into university.
Congratulations, that must feel really good.
It was scary, it was amazing.
Bayside recorded a 93% pass rate, Westside 90% and the Gibraltar College 89%, while Prior Park achieved a 100% pass rate. Spanish was the most popular A-level subject. Sociology and biology were also among the most popular choices. And while results belong to the students, teachers are also heavily invested.
You've seen the students hugging the teachers and thanking the teachers because the young people truly appreciate the efforts that go behind the scenes to help them.
We've seen a lot of happy students here today. There will inevitably be some people who are disappointed. How do you deal with that from a teaching perspective?
What we do is we make a list so that we know who might need little bits of support today, and the team's been working since 9 o'clock this morning. We've had a steady stream of students coming in. We've had some successes, which makes it worthwhile when they leave and they're happier than when they came in. So that part's very important to us.
A-level is just one type of level 3 offering we have. Vocational pathways are a really valuable way for some children who are less academic, because A-levels are very academic subjects, to be able to access very high quality level 3 qualifications, which are equally recognized in universities and for all the other pathways that children can go into. We are very much about looking at the individual student holistically, and it happens throughout primary and into secondary. We have the soft skills that are so important to develop. We're developing their communication skills, their collaboration, their critical thinking, their problem solving, because at the end of the day, it's those qualities that are going to ensure that they are successful in their future life.
The trend that we find, because Gibraltar is a knowledge economy, we find a lot of our graduates want to do law, engineering. There'll be a few that will go into education, and then you've always got the interesting courses, like a few that will want to do philosophy, some misguided geographers, but mostly the knowledge economy, law, engineering, physics, mathematics.
And what would you say to students receiving their results today?
To everybody across Gibraltar and to other schools, congratulations, you've worked hard, whatever your outcomes were. What I will tell you is that as a much older person now, if I knew then what I know today, A-levels are important, but there's a lot of context. And really, when you get into the world of work, your A-level results become a very small part of that. Your degree becomes more important, but truly, your values, your culture, your skills, they speak most loudly.
We've been advocate for developing more soft skills, and I think we're seeing that in this current economic and employment landscape. Get people and get learners to develop more the communication skills, problem solving, networking, and not have to rely on just data provision that AI would probably do for you. So that's something that we see.
And what would your message be to the leavers today and to those thinking about joining the college in future?
We are not just for school leavers. We have learners that come over here that want to do something different. We've had provision for health and social care, for psychology, for accounting, for travel and tourism. So we're trying to change that culture of knowing that we are here to provide educational opportunities for the whole community. And finally, I would say let not the grades eclipse who you are. You are more than just your grades, just so keep positive.
Heads of department will be looking at the cohort and how it's performed, how does it perform in comparison to previous cohorts, and then they'll have a look and see if there are any learning points. So we'll be doing a lot of work on that across our schools. For me, Results Day is a milestone. It's a transition point when young people get their results and they know what they're going to do next. Are they going to continue on to university? Are they thinking that they might want to rethink that and take a gap year or go straight into employment? And sometimes Results Day helps individuals to reflect and to make more definitive decisions. The other side of Results Day is that it's one way of measuring the successes of young people, and for me, young people's success is much, much broader than how they perform in an exam. So although there's a lot to celebrate, and I don't want to downplay that at all, their journey through school and all their other experiences, all the other milestones, all the other ways that they've contributed to the school environment, to the wider community, all of those things are worthy of recognition.
I think, look, this is the first day of the rest of their lives. They're young, full of energy, and as I say, the future beckons.
And how closely is the education system responding to Gibraltar's future workforce needs? For example, healthcare, teaching, financial services, that kind of thing?
Well, I think it's doing well. There's been a lot of investment in education, as everybody knows, over the last decade and a half. And it is responding. We are progressing in health and care here in the college, for example, a very popular course with a big cohort coming in this year. The digital options are also increasing. So those things are there, but we mustn't forget that every individual will make their own choice. And if somebody wants to go and study acting, then we want to support that, because we'd be very proud when we see them win an Oscar. So, it's a day to celebrate all the possibilities that these young people have for the future, their future and the future of Gibraltar.
And will you miss school?
Yeah, I think so. Not the subjects as much, but I definitely miss being with everyone and the teachers. So.
Are you nervous to go off to the UK?
Definitely, because I think in JB you're so like close-knit, and then once you go to uni, it's like you're going to have to like fend for yourself. But I think we'll all do well.
Knowing the amount of hard work I put into this, it really means a lot to me. Knowing that it's the end of something with college, the end of like my education in Gibraltar, but a brand new story, a brand new like chapter in my life in Leeds, which I can't wait to start.
Woo! Now you can all go home.
Well done to them. Now, for its part, the GST has congratulated students on their A-level results. The Shadow Minister for Education, Edwin Reyes, also thanked teachers. He wished the best for students going to university as well as to those who might seek to get better results. Mr. Reyes also said it was important to ensure opportunities exist for those who choose not to go to university. And students celebrating their A-level results can now apply for a £3,000 Excellence Prize from the Kusuma Trust. The annual awards recognise students who have performed exceptionally well and secured a place at a leading university, with the prize intended to support them as they pursue their chosen subject. Applications are now open and they close on the 18th of September. And the excitement around A-level results has been felt around the rock. On Gibraltar today, Bishop Charles Asopardi told Kellyanne Borge he prays for all young people in Gibraltar who have had exams this year.
First of all, I was praying for the students, that they would be able to recall everything they've learned, that they would do well in their exams. Now that they have started to receive the fruit of their works, I pray that they'll be able to be humble and listen to those around them and be able to go to those places that, not because your friends are going, but rather because it's what's going to be best for you. You know, when people ask me, where do you live? I always say in paradise. And paradise includes education till the age of 25 and plus. Those students who are going to be sitting next to our Gibraltarians will be having a student loan to pay at the end. Ours don't. My heart goes to those who may have had not the results they wanted, but listen, that's not everything in life.
Meanwhile, outbreaks of meningitis B among university students in the UK earlier this year have prompted a new vaccination initiative for students heading to the UK to study this autumn. Public Health Gibraltar and the GHA are offering a catch-up programme to eligible students, urging them to get protected before they leave.
The vaccination programme will be delivered through dedicated clinics at the Primary Care Centre on the 19th and 21st of August. Appointments will run from 8:30 in the morning until 4:30, with current university students being contacted by text. The vaccine will be administered in 2 doses, at least 4 weeks apart. Students returning to the UK before their second dose can complete the course through the NHS, whilst those who have already received a first dose privately should bring evidence of it to their appointment. The scheme is available to 18 to 24-year-olds travelling overseas for university or recognised study. Students must have a proof of their place, and those awaiting A-level results should wait for a confirmed offer before booking. Anyone who is unwell or taking antibiotics on the day should not attend the clinic.
We're watching GBC News. Still to come, a suspected sex trafficking network in La Línea is dismantled by Spanish police. A Spanish fisherman is reported for process for fishing without a permit in Gibraltar waters. Sharon Graham is re-elected General Secretary of Unite the Union. And a charity darts exhibition raises over £10,000 for the GBC Open Day. We'll be back in a few minutes. Welcome back. Spanish police say they have dismantled a suspected human trafficking network in La Línea, arresting 12 people and rescuing 12 women. The investigation has also uncovered a Gibraltar link with Spanish police, saying some of the properties allegedly used by the network were owned by a locally based company.
The investigation began in 2024 and, according to Europa Press Agency reports, involved 13 property searches. Police say the women, all foreign nationals, were recruited with false promises of work before being subjected to sexual exploitation, threats and financial pressure. Investigators say the group had different roles, including recruiting the women, managing the properties and controlling their activities. The case also has a Gibraltar connection, with the Policía Nacional saying properties allegedly used by the network in La Línea were owned by a company based in Gibraltar. GBC has asked the Royal Gibraltar Police whether Spanish investigators sought their assistance and whether any inquiries are being carried out on the Gibraltar side.
In other news, the owner of a Spanish fishing vessel has been reported for process for fishing without a permit in British Gibraltar territorial waters. The skipper of La Rápida is Leoncio Fernandez, a former head of the La Línea Fishermen's Guild, who has publicly disputed Gibraltar's authority to regulate Spanish fishing in BGTW.
The Environmental Protection and Research Unit says officers spotted La Rápida fishing with long lines around 500 metres off Europa Point on Wednesday morning. They say 3 skates, a protected species, were caught and landed. Leoncio Fernandez was instructed to return them to the water and told the vessel could not fish in BGTW without a permit. According to environmental protection officers, he refused, became verbally abusive towards them and was escorted out of BGTW. Leoncio Fernandez has been reported for prosecution over allegedly fishing without a permit and landing the protected species. The former chair of the La Línea Fishermen's Guild has previously been involved in disputes with Gibraltar authorities, including the 2013 artificial reef incident, which became known as the Reefy incident, when he denied a charge of stealing a concrete block. And speaking to Campo news outlet Ocho Televisión late last week, Leoncio Fernandez said Gibraltar had no authority to issue Spanish fishermen with permits.
Ellos no nos pueden dar unos permisos porque las aguas no son de ellos.
The Environmental Protection and Research Unit says La Rápida was subsequently escorted out of BGTW.
3 local residents have been arrested on suspicion of possession and intent to supply Class A drugs. This follows an operation by Customs anti-smuggling team.
Earlier this month, customs officers observed 2 men at a bus stop in the area of Devil's Tower Road acting suspiciously. When they were stopped and searched, a number of wrappers containing substances suspected to be cocaine were reportedly found. The 2 men, aged 32 and 39, were then arrested. Officers later executed a search warrant at a property connected to one of the men, where customs says they found suspected controlled drugs, cash, weighing scales, and other drug-related paraphernalia. A 34-year-old woman who was present at the property was also arrested. Customs says officers found an additional package of suspected drugs after the search of a moped at the premises, while a second property search resulted in more cash being seized. In total, approximately 51 grams of suspected cocaine was seized. The 3 individuals have been released on bail until early next year.
A non-resident has been handed 2 conditional discharges as well as a detention and removal order in the Magistrates' Court. Indapal Ram was arrested by the Royal Gibraltar Police after he was found on Waterport Road without valid documentation under the Immigration Act. He was also charged with possession of an offensive weapon, a spring-loaded baton. Ram pleaded guilty to both charges. His lawyer told the court that the defendant had been travelling in Spain for 4 months and had the baton with him for protection. Stipendiary Magistrate Charles Bonfante handed down the conditional discharges for 12 months. Ram will be detained until he is deported. Gibraltar is looking further afield than the UK market to attract gaming companies. Trade and Industry Minister Nigel Feetham has accelerated the international outreach programme to open new markets, including through his recent visit to Canada.
Gaming companies on the Rock have felt the impact of last year's UK budget with the announcement of job losses. In the UK, companies have also been feeling the effects, with some 4,500 jobs reportedly lost in the sector. In the UK, over 540 bookies have shut. Evoke, which owns William Hill, claims it's forked out $46 million in the first half of 2026. The company says it's taken decisive action and offset over half of the cost increases through lower market spend and continued cost cutting. Last month, Betfred said it would close 132 shops, resulting in 600 job losses. Prime Minister Andy Burnham has announced a major crackdown on adult gaming centres and betting shops, with new, tougher legislation and further powers to councils. A 6-week consultation phase has been implemented. Betfred, however, confirmed last week that there would be no impact locally from its shop closures in the UK. But all this is only being seen as a respite, with the impact locally expected to be felt once the additional betting duty comes into effect and profits from local gaming companies decrease towards the end of the year and the next. This could greatly affect Gibraltar's corporate tax revenues for 26-27. Speaking to GBC, Nigel Feetham says he'd made clear to the UK government that tax increases would have consequences, not just for Gibraltar, but for the UK too. He adds, we are now seeing those concerns materialise, with the full impact on Gibraltar likely to be felt later in the financial year, particularly in tax receipts. And as the Rock moves towards absorbing the announcements in last year's UK budget, it's bracing itself for the possibility of more. The Prime Minister is looking for ways to pay for his additional budgetary commitments, and this money is going to have to come from somewhere. For now, Gibraltar has to wait and see whether the British government intends to again dip into gaming companies for its spending money.
Unite the Union has announced that Sharon Graham has been re-elected as General Secretary. Voting took place earlier this week, including on the Rock, with over 100,000 votes cast overall. She received nearly 68,700 votes, more than double the number of her opponent, Simon Dobbins. In her list of Gibraltar-specific manifesto commitments, she pledged to hold meetings with senior officials from the Rock and to set concrete bargaining targets. She said she would develop a comprehensive growth plan, including specific targets in the private sector. Ms. Graham also said she would bring a new focus to membership retention. Although Gibraltar is not an island, she confirmed local lay reps would be invited to the first island conference, together with the Isle of Man and the Channel Islands. Over £10,000 has been raised for the GBC Open Day following a sold-out charity darts exhibition. The event featured world number 9 Stephen "The Bullet" Bunting.
Proceeds were raised during an evening of live sport and entertainment through ticket sales, a charity raffle, auction and tombola to play against Stephen Bunting. It was a joint event with Entain, Admiral Casino Gibraltar and the Gibraltar Darts Association. The evening also shone a spotlight on local darts talent. Head of Planning at Entain said the event showed what can be achieved when businesses, community organisations and local people come together behind a common cause. Secretary of the Gibraltar Darts Association, Darren Olivero, said the atmosphere throughout the evening was truly fantastic. Organisers are hoping that following the success of this year's exhibition, Gibraltar will once again welcome Stephen Bunting back on the Rock in 2027.
And that's all from the GBC News team for now. Don't forget, you can always catch up on our website and social media pages. Now, yesterday, Gibraltar's eyes were turned to the skies for a rare partial solar eclipse. We leave you with images taken by GBC and viewers. Have a good evening.